Hi, all of you. Is the sound is audible?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we'll be going to start with the custom images. So just let me connect. So till yesterday we saw that these were the images that we downloaded one by one. Okay. And there were some containers that we created yesterday, right? So if I want to delete all the containers in a single go, you know the command docker remove. Okay. If there are some container will be in the running state or something, in that case, I can use the -f option here. Okay. Then I'll be writing the dollar symbol and then I'll be writing the another command that will be the docker container ls -a-q. This is going to print the container ID and it will delete all the Docker container in a single go. And now we'll try to do the Docker PSI for it. Nothing is there. Okay. Now, why we want to create a custom image? Okay. So for that particular reason, let me just show you. Currently, what is happening is if I'm going to start a container here quickly, like I'm just starting a container docker run -it from the image called CentOS 7. I'm not giving any name or something specific to this container. They will give some random name. So as soon as this container got started, right? So definitely this container, I'm going to use it for some specific purpose. Okay. And just take a scenario that I require to run two commands here in this particular container. I want to run one command called ifconfig. That is my first requirement. And second command, I want to run it as a wget. Okay. These two command I require. But when I'm running these two commands in the CentOS 7 image, okay, like we started a container from this particular operating system and then we try to run the command ifconfig and wget. So they are clearly saying command not found. That means we cannot run these two commands inside this container, right? So if we'll try to find it in the internet, what software I will download or what package I will download, so ifconfig command will be able to run it here. Okay, like if we'll search here what provides ifconfig, right? So it will tell you that, okay, if you want to use the ifconfig command, so what you have to do is you have to download the nettools package. Okay, then only ifconfig command will be visible. So once I got to know about this, okay, to install this will require, so I have to manually install this, right? That yum, I want to install ifconfig, not ifconfig, basically the net-tools, something like this. If I press enter and this software, I will install it inside this particular container. Let me just install it. If I'll press Y, then ifconfig is going to be nettools package is going to be installed. And since nettools got installed, so now if I will try to type the ifconfig command, so see, they're not giving error, they are printing the IP address. Okay. Similarly, wget, still it is not present. So to install the wget, again, you can search it. So you'll get that there is a package name is wget itself. In this wget case, package name is also wget. So if I'll write yum install wget -y, right? So then this is going to be installed here. Now, if I will do here wget, so this time it is not saying command not found. ifconfig, this is not saying command not found. That means inside this particular container or inside this particular laptop, whatever you can think of, okay. Previously, this two software was not present, but I want to use it. So if something is not present in your laptop, what you have to do? You have to install that particular thing. So that's why I installed two packages, nettools and wget. That's why I am able to run these two commands. Okay. Once my work is done, I can simply exit from my container. I don't require to do anything. I will clear it, right? Now, this was the container. If you'll see, this was the container that I just created. Okay. And in this container, I installed the ifconfig command and wget command related software, right? So that's why we are able to run it. Now, the question is, if somebody is going to start one more new container, okay, if somebody is going to start one more new container from the same image CentOS 7, okay, now you have to tell me that what will happen if I'm going to type the ifconfig command. What do you think? It will be visible or it will be not visible? Anybody?
Um, no, it is not going to visible.
Yeah, because this is a totally new container. So whatever
Yeah,
the
it's a
software I
different
installed, that was in the previous container. So again, it
yeah,
will say
it's
the
a different
exactly same
container.
thing. Command
Yeah.
not found. Okay. So that means if any of my friend or my team member also want to use this software, what they have to do? Again, they have to manually come inside this container. Again, they will be installing the software, and then again they will be using it in their personal container, right? But currently there are two software, so we can do it. But if there are 100 software that we have to install it inside a container to make it work, our software or whatever application I'm going to work on. So this is not feasible, right? That every time somebody is starting a new container, they have to install all this, right? So for this particular reason, what I will do is I will create a new image. Okay, so I want to create a new image or I want to create a new operating system, something like that, in which they will contain all the things that is present in the CentOS 7, plus they will store two more extra things. That means this software like NetTools and wget will be also present inside this. Okay, so it is something like this. Previously, somebody just giving you a Google a laptop, in that Google Chrome is installed. That's it. Now I again started a new company of the laptop, and in that I am saying that if somebody will buy my laptop, I will give you the Google Chrome software also, Firefox also, and Edge browser also. So basically, you are getting two more extra software if you are going to use my laptop, right? So exactly same way we want to use some type of the image. In that image will provide all the things what CentOS was capable of, plus they will provide two more extra package. Okay, that is my goal here. So let's exit it from here, everything. Let me just delete all this container. Goal was clear now. Okay, so let me just delete all the things again. So let's start from again start. So I am first starting a container, docker run -it, and I am giving some name to this container like uh, my OS, something like this. I given my container name as my OS, and then I'm starting it with the image called CentOS 7. Okay, and as soon as new container is going to start, again we cannot use the ifconfig. I cannot use the wget. So to use this, I install two software here: yum install net hyphen rules hyphen y. So first this package is going to be installed, and then I'm going to install yum install wget also. So this is also got installed. Now if I'll try to type ifconfig command, working, wget command, working. That means these two software, whatever I require, that is present inside this machine. Okay. Now let's exit from this container. So till now what I have a container with me. Okay. I have a container with me with the name called my OS, okay, which is running from CentOS 7 image, and this container contains some extra thing. What some extra thing? It contains the NetTools package also and wget package also. So now I want to create a contain new image out of it, right? So for that, there is a command called docker commit. Okay, so once your container is created, simply write the command like this: docker, I want to commit. Okay, what is my container name? My OS. Okay, and then I have to write the uh, image name or something like that, whatever the image name I want to create. Okay, so I given the, okay, something little bit different, little bit different here, because here I given in the example Kisan as the container name. Okay, but here the container name is my OS, so that's why I written my OS. Okay, so docker I want to commit. Okay, so whatever the things present inside this particular container, that you have to commit it, and that thing you have to commit it in a new image. What is the image name I want to give? So whatever the image name you want to give it, you can give it. You can give the image name as my OS also, my new OS also. It's totally on you. So let me just give the name as my new OS. Okay, and this is my first version of my image. Okay, this is the version 1. So that's why I'm writing the tag as version 1. As soon as I will press enter, what is going to happen is Docker is going to create a new image. okay, out of this container. And if I will do now Docker images, you can clearly see that a new image got created. My new OS v1. What is the size of this image? 429 MB. Definitely it will be bigger than our base image that is CentOS 7. Okay. But this is the new image with the v1 tag, whatever I created. Now the benefit is if somebody is going to start a new container, right? Previously, what was happening? You were starting a new container from the CentOS 7 image, and then you were trying to write the ifconfig command or wget command. It was not working. Okay. Now let's try to create a new container rather than using the CentOS 7 image. Use the my new OS v1. Okay. Whatever the image just now I created. So from this particular image, if you are going to create a container, now the benefit is you are still using the CentOS 7 only. Okay, you are still using the CentOS 7 only. But the benefit of this particular container is if you try to type the ifconfig command or wget command, you will be able to use it. That means you don't have to install the software again and again. Make sense?
Yes.
So this is the use case that why we create a new images. Whatever the things you want to do it in a single container. From the next time, whenever any of my friend also will require, they will come here and they will use this image. I will just say them that if you want to use all the software that we are going to require for our project, use this particular image. In this everything I already installed it. So they will simply come here and they will do run -it and they will just give my image name, my new OS v1. That's it. And whatever the things they will do like ifconfig, wget, so it will be present. Other than that, whatever the things they want to do in the CentOS 7 operating system, they can do it. It's totally their ways. Okay. So that's the benefit. Let's exit from here again. Let's delete all the things, whatever I created just now. Docker remove -f. Okay, so everything got deleted now again. So this is the first way of creating the image. Okay. There is one more way to create the images, okay, using the Dockerfile. Okay, there is one more way. This is the first way is the simple. The first way is basically you will be creating a container from any of the base image. Okay, and in that whatever the software you want to install it, you can install it. Okay, and then you can commit it. So a new image will be formed. So this is the one way of creating the custom image. Okay. Now another way is using the Docker file. So basically you have to create a Docker file, you have to write a Docker file, and using that particular Docker file, you will be going to create a new image. Okay. So take an example. Currently, what is my goal is if I'm going to start a new container again from the CentOS 7 image. Okay. And my goal is to use the Python here. Okay, I want to use the Python programming language. I want to write some code in the Python programming language inside this CentOS 7 container. So if I will type the Python here, so by default, which version of Python they are giving me? 2.7. Okay. If you know a little bit about Python, Python comes with two different versions. One is Python 2, one is Python 3. So currently, whatever the Python is installed inside this particular container, or this particular image, that is Python 2.7.5. Okay. But I don't want to use the Python 2 version. I want to use Python 3 version. Okay. So let's exit it from this Python terminal. You can just exit it by writing the command called exit, open bracket, close bracket, because we are exiting from the Python, not from the container. Okay. Again, I came to the container screen. But here, if I will try to type that I want to use the Python 3, okay, so they are saying command not found. That means Python 3 software is not present. Only the Python 2.7.5 software is present. Okay, but my goal is to use the Python 3. That means again I have to install the software here using the command called yum install, right? And once the Python will be installed, then Python 3 will be able to use it. But rather than manually installing after going inside the container and then creating the custom image, we can write a Docker file. Let's exit it from here, clear it all. So what I'm going to do is to create a Docker file or something. Let's create a directory. Okay, so I'm creating a directory. Take an example with the name called Python Docker file, something like this. Okay, so a directory I created. Now let's go inside this directory /Python Docker file. When you go inside this directory, okay, so inside this particular directory, you have to create a file. Okay, and that file name should be Docker file, where D will be capital. Okay, you cannot give any other name or something. Whenever you are writing the Docker file, make sure D will be capital and the spelling will be exactly same. Okay, this is the file that you have to create. Inside this file, you have to write something. what are the things you have to write inside this Dockerfile? The first line you have to write is the from, and from, this will be capital. Everything will be in the capital. Like once you went into the Dockerfile, you have to write from. So from will be capital. Okay. Then give a space. Now, what is the base image you are going to use? Like there will be some base image, right? Like I want to install some software or something like that. So definitely I'll be installing it on some of the base image, either Ubuntu, CentOS 7, or some other operating system. So I want to take my base image as CentOS 7 because I shown you in the CentOS 7, Python 2 is present, but Python 3 is not present. So I'm saying that do one thing, take the base image from CentOS 7, and then you have to run a command there. Okay, what you have to run the command inside this particular CentOS 7 image? You have to run a command yum install python 36-y. This is the command which is going to install the Python 3.6 version. Okay. So if I'm writing the command that you have to run yum install python 36-y. So what they will do is they will take the base image as CentOS 7. Okay. And then they will install the Python 36. Okay. And after installing this, they are going to create a new image. And whatever the new image is going to be created now, okay, if I'm going to use that particular image, then we'll be able to see Python 3 will be able to use it there. So after writing these two commands, simply save this file. Okay. After saving this file, simply you have to write the command like this: Docker, I want to build. Make sure you are present in the same directory where you created the Docker file. Okay. Or you have to give the entire path where you located the Docker file. Okay. So Docker, I want to build. Docker, I want to build. Okay. A image with the name T for tag. I want to give some tag to my image name. What is the tag? So take an example. I'm creating a image with the name called test python, and this is my version 1 of my image. Okay. This is my first version. And so you have to build a image with this particular name. And now the thing is how I will build the image. So I'm saying that there is a Docker file I created in a directory called /python Dockerfile. So you have to go there. You will, after going there, you will be able to find that a Docker file is present there. By reading the Docker file, just read all the instructions and then create a new image with the name called test python v1. If I press enter, they started to read the file. They are saying I am taking the base image as CentOS 7, and then I am trying to install the Python 3.6 there. Once Python 3.6 will be installed, then I will create a new image. Okay. And see, Python 3, they installed it, and then they are going to generate a new image with the name called test python. And see, they are clearly saying that after building everything, I successfully tagged your image with the name called test python v1. And if this is true, then if I'm going to say Docker, can you show me the images? So they will say here that, okay, I created a new image with the name called test python v1. Okay. And since this particular image got created, say with the size of 478 MB or something. Okay. So now the thing is at like for which scenario I'll be using the CentOS 7 image, and for which scenario I'll be using the test python v1. Anybody? Like why I will use this particular image rather than using this image? Anybody?
The test Python is having Python program, right?
Python 3, right? So if somebody want to
Mm.
use Python 3, then only they will go with this particular image, right? Because other than that, all the things you can do it in this image also. Okay. And this image is smaller. If you want to do Python 3, then you have to go with this image. This will definitely, size will be bigger because you installed some packages extra here. Okay. So now if I'll say that Docker, let's start a container, but this time you have to use the test Python v1. And since I'm going to write it here that Docker, you have to run a new container from the test python v1. So they are starting a new container. But the benefit of this container is if somebody is going to type the Python 3, this time it will not say command not found. It is going to give me the Python 3 string 3.6. And whatever the Python command I want to type it here, like print I, so they are going to print hi. Okay. If I say that, okay, do the sum of 5 plus 7, right? So they are going to give the answer because this is the Python terminal now. I can access it, and this is the 3.6 version. Again, I want to exit from this Python. I will exit it. Okay. But can I do any other thing inside this container other than this Python 3?
No,
Yes or
only
no?
Python.
No,
Only
we can do
Python.
it now because this contains the CentOS 7 image also, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
It's
This
the
is
image of
containing
CentOS
everything.
7.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
contains the CentOS 7 image details. So other thing also we can do, but that doesn't make sense that we are creating this particular image to do some other work, right? So
Yeah.
now, basically, I want to say to the people that if somebody want to use this particular image, okay, then just use the Python 3 only. Why you want to go with some other work or something? Because this image was just built for only serving one purpose. That was to run the Python 3. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now, if this is going to be the make sense, now the thing is why everybody is going to create a new container and they will type the manually Python 3, right? Because if I will do something like this, let's clear all these things. If I'm saying that as soon as somebody is going to creating a container from this image, okay, so they don't have to go inside this and manually type Python 3, then only they are getting the Python 3 screen. Okay. I want that as soon as you start the container, you should directly get this Python 3 screen where you can run the Python command. Make sense?
Yes. Okay, can you please repeat this one, sir?
See,
Sorry.
I'm saying currently what is happening is you know that you are using this particular image for only one purpose. Okay.
Uh-huh.
To run the Python 3 command. Okay. But if I will do something like this, that as soon as you are starting a container, it is directly open the Python 3 screen. You don't have to type the Python 3. It will make more sense, right?
Yeah.
It is something like this. I bought a laptop for only one reason. No matter what I'm going to do anything. I just bought it for one reason that every time I open my laptop, automatically a browser should open. So if I will set it at that, so as soon as I will open the laptop, Google Chrome is going to open automatically. And sometimes it happens, right? If you make it some browser as a default, then as soon as your laptop will open, that browser will automatically trigger, right? So that type of the things we can want to achieve it here also. So for doing this, what you can do is let's exit it from here again. And see here also I have to exit it two times. One time I have to exit it from the Python screen, then I have to exit it from container. Why two times? As soon as I'm exiting the Python, it should automatically close the container. That should be my goal. Okay. So for doing this, again, let's come to the Docker file. Okay. And this type of the things you can do it from the Docker file only. You cannot do it from the commit. So I am saying that do one thing, take the base images CentOS 7, well and good. You have to install the Python 3.6 also, that's also good. But make sure as soon as somebody, okay, as soon as somebody is going to start the container from this particular image, whatever you are going to create, okay, you have to hit a command there, CMD. CMD is for command. And which command you will be typing? Python 3. So now what is going to happen is they will take the base image of CentOS 7, they will install the Python 3.6. But from this image, if somebody is going to start a container, automatically Docker is going to hit a command called Python 3 on your behalf. That's why we written as a CMD. Whatever the things you write it under the run, okay, this will run in the during the creation of image. Okay, and whatever the things you write using the CMD, this will run when your container is getting created. Make sense?
Yeah.
So now once we done this, simply save this file. Again, I'm going to build the image. I will say that Docker, let's build this image. But this is my second generation of my image, right? The first generation was not supporting that feature. It is something like this. When WhatsApp came in the market, it was just supporting the chat messages. Later, they integrated it with the audio call. Then later, they integrated it with the video call. Then given some status update, story update. So these many things they started to add it. So similarly, the first version of the image I created, in that people were able to use the Python 3, but the problem was people have to manually type it. Okay. Now I want to generate the second version of my application. That's why I'm just giving the name as V2 tag. I'll press enter. Again, they created everything. Now, if you'll clearly see here, Docker images. So you are going to see that there is two image present. One is the test Python v2, one is the test Python v1. Size is exactly same. There is no difference in size. Why? Because I did not install any extra software or something during the v2 version, right? I just said them that you have to run an extra command. That's it. So definitely size is not going to increase or something. But the benefit is if previously somebody was starting a container from the image called test Python v1, then to use the Python, they have to manually type the Python 3. Then only it was working. Okay. But let's exit it from here, this particular container. And now if somebody is going to start a container from the V2, just see this. As soon as I am going to press enter, automatically Python 3 screen came. Make sense?
Yeah.
Again, after hitting all the Python related commands, my work is done. I will do the exit from the Python screen. Okay, I will be doing the exit from Python screen. But as soon as I'm exiting, automatically that entire container is going to be shut down. If you do the docker ps-a, you'll also see. Previously, when I was using the test Python v1, the shell was opening, terminal was opening. Okay, but when I use the test Python v2, they directly open the shell, but inside that open shell, they run a command called Python 3, and they given us the Python 3 screen directly. And who is running this command here? Dockerfile. We retain that information in the Dockerfile. Make sense? So if I am going to upload this image to some other places, and if somebody is going to use this particular image, they don't have to type the Python 3. They will be directly able to use it. So is the difference is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Others also fine?
So, sir, one quick question. In Docker containers, other than Python and operating systems, do we generally create files? Yeah, yesterday you showed us creating the file 1, file 2, right? So we can store those files in Docker, right? In containers?
Yeah, you can store the files, you can install some softwares, everything you can do it.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So again, let me just delete all the things. Docker remove -l. Fine. So till now we have so many images here. Okay. Now let me show you one more image creation. So this Python 3 example, everything is shown here. Now my goal is to host a website or something, okay, using the Docker. So for that you have to create a Docker Hub account, okay. So to create a Docker Hub account, all of you, you can go to this particular dockerhub.com, right? And then you can sign it up. You can just write a username here. Then you can write email. Then you can write your password. Sign up, do it. A account will be created. Once you'll try to log in with your username and password, okay, you will be able to see this type of the screen. In your case, there will be no images will be visible. But in my case, I have some images uploaded there. So if I will log into my account, I'll be able to see my images. Okay, so simply once your account will be created, then we'll be doing simply sign in. Okay. Okay, and this is going to be the image. Okay. So whatever the image I want to upload it, I can upload it here, and anybody in the world, if I'll make the images public, so they can download it from here directly. Okay, you can directly download it from here also, or you can just use the command called docker pull, whatever the command is coming. Currently, it will give the push command because currently I am in my account, right? So if I want to push my image, then I have to use the docker push command, right? But for public view, like what other people will be able to see in my account, so they'll be seeing this command, docker pull command, because you have to pull this particular image. Okay, so like this way we can do, you will be able to see the tag, like here the latest tag is there, size is 177 MB, something like this. So you can just download it from here and they can download it. Okay, so this is about the Docker Hub. So you all of you have to create an account here. Okay, and the next goal will be basically to create a Docker image. Okay, which is going to be basically hosting a website or something. Okay, so my final goal is to host this type of the web server, right? If you remember, this type of the web server we created, right, in the AWS also. So to create this web server, what was the things we done in the AWS cloud? First, we launched the EC2 instance. Okay, then we installed the HTTPD website there. Then we installed the PHP there. Okay. Then we created a file in the /var/www/html directory. Okay. We created a index.php page there. Okay. Inside this index.php page, we written some content, something like this. that you have to write the background color as this, welcome to test web server, you have to print the ifconfig output, something like this we written in that PHP. Okay, if you remember. So once we written this entire thing and we kept it inside a /var/www/html directory, then we started the HTTPD service using the systemctl start HTTPD. Then we done the systemctl enable HTTPD. Then we opened the port 80 of our EC2 instance, and we were able to see our website by writing the URL. Okay, this was the thing we done. And then what we done, we created two more EC2 instances. First, after that we generated a new custom image in the AWS. From that custom image, we created two more EC2 instances, right? And then we added all these three EC2 instances on top of a load balancer. Okay. And rather than giving the public IP of the EC2 instances, I said that I will give them to the customer a single load balancer IP address, right? And if somebody will click on that load balancer URL, so sometimes they will be connected to this IP address, they will refresh, sometimes they will be connected to some different IP address. Remember all of you that thing?
Yes.
So exactly same thing we want to achieve it in the Docker also. Okay, why in the Docker? Why not in the AWS directly? So in the AWS we had a problem. If you remember, in the auto scaling, the problem was if load is going to increase, right? So AWS was taking more time, right, to start the new EC2 instances. It was waiting for 4 to 5 minutes time. Then only our EC2 instances was scaling up, right? But if I'm going with the Docker type of the methodology, okay, so what that Docker can do is Docker can create a new container with all these things will be present there in fraction of second. Okay, that means in less than 60 seconds I can create 100 containers in case of the Docker, right? But in case of the AWS EC2 instances scaling, it is going to take time, right? So that's why we want to use achieve this type of the method where the provisioning of this entire thing will be faster. Okay, and how to achieve these all things, that will be taking it tomorrow. So before that, what you have to do is you can practice up to here and create a Docker Hub account, all of you. This Docker Hub account you have to create it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this will be the thing, and then tomorrow we'll be taking that part. Okay. And tomorrow Docker will be completed and we'll get the remaining time. Then we'll start the theoretical part of the Kubernetes. Okay. And after that, we'll be starting with the practical of Kubernetes. Okay. So this is going to be our flow. So tomorrow will be the last class of the Docker. So you have to just create the Docker Hub account. And after creating that particular image, I will show you how I can upload the images to this particular account. So anybody will be able to download your image. These all things will be seen tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, that's all for today. Just try to practice it, try to revise it. Docker is a little bit complex. Okay. But if you get a develop of understanding why we are creating the container, what is the faster provisioning, what are the different ways to install the operating system, right? That cloud computing, virtualization, bare metal. So if you remember these all things and if you start to explain all these things in the interview, then people will think, right, that you understand everything. Okay, it is not like you just know the command Docker PS, Docker container, because that type of the thing everybody is going to know. Okay, because everybody is seeing here and there the videos and they are running and reading the commands, they are remembering the commands, right? But knowing the concept, that is going to help you in your interview actually. Okay, if you know the concept, why Docker was created, why we are using the Docker, why companies preferring the Docker, right? Because question they will ask you why we are going with the Docker, right? That type of the question is going to come. It is not like somebody is going to ask you, do you know the command to list all the images? That type of the question does not get asked in the interview or something. Okay, so try to create the concept like whatever you are learning. It will help you. Fine.
Okay, sir.
Anything anybody want to ask? Okay, then just practice up to here. Okay. Thanks all of you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you, sir.